Kim Iverson, one of the hosts on The Hill, got suspended from YouTube. I've been suspended from YouTube. I lost my channel. I got it back on appeal. That's how I'm broadcasting to you guys right now. I had to not broadcast from like October till like January the 3rd or 4th to make sure that I didn't get another strike against me. Now I'm free and clear on YouTube. But Kim Iverson, she's got other outlets where she can go and bitch about, you know, the things that happen to all the rest of us that we can't fucking help as content creators.
What's on your radar, Kim?
Well, YouTube has struck again. The Kim Iverson Show channel is currently suspended for 1 week for violating YouTube's medical misinformation policy. Now, some of you may know I have my own YouTube show that I started a little over 3 years ago. Throughout 2019 and into early 2020, before the pandemic, my channel grew very quickly, averaging 15.
Now, to be clear, I also received strikes for medical misinformation. I received 1 strike for election misinformation. All the rest of them were medical misinformation. The strike for election misinformation was on September 11th. Or September 12th, whenever I played it. I think it was on September 11th. We played a video clip of Trump visiting like the firehouse in New York. And it was like a 3-minute clip of just Trump being Trump. And of course, he talked about how, you know, you got screwed out of the 2020 election, yada, 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 you know, on 9/11. That got me a strike on YouTube. Then we played a clip of Marjorie Taylor Greene on the House floor, something about Fauci, gain of function, some bullshit like that. That got me a strike. And then I played a clip from a city council meeting where a woman made the claim that the vaccines made you magnetized. And this was like a week or 2 after I got vaccinated. I ran over to the kitchen, grabbed a fork out of the drawer, and tried to stick it to my fucking forehead. And that got me a strike on YouTube. So technically, here's the thing, is I did indeed violate YouTube's terms of services. I was not trying to spread vaccine misinformation, medical misinformation, what have you. I was trying to mock it. I was trying to spread good information, but you know. Oh, Kim.
To 20,000 subscribers per month. My focus was on the Democratic primary, of course, and foreign policy. I interviewed candidates such as Tulsi Gabbard and Marianne Williamson and attended the Democratic...
I bet you did.
I traveled to the West Bank to witness the Israeli-Palestinian conflict firsthand and did in-depth pieces on the various...
Not Che.
Entanglements.
It was a pleasure having you
hundreds
here.
Of thousands of views, and within a little over a year, I hit 250,000 subscribers. And I'm not just tooting my own horn, I have a point to all of this. Everything with my channel was going incredibly
I'm sure you do, Kim.
well. Viewers and people from other channels were suspicious I was somehow an agent of the deep state. While other channels and hosts were palling around with each other, very few paid me any attention. They thought there was no way my channel could grow as fast as it was without some inside help. But there wasn't any help. I did it all alone, sitting in a bedroom I had converted into a studio with a fabric backdrop, a ring light, and a starter DSLR. I did my own lighting, sound, filming, and editing. I was living with my family while I got the channel going, and Airbnb being my own apartment for cash. But after a while of grinding it out, my channel started to make money. By November of 2019, I was able to get back to living on my own. I started looking into hiring help. Then the pandemic hit. The focus of my attention and everyone else's shifted to the virus and lockdowns. I was against the lockdowns from day one. I argued they would result in a massive transfer of wealth, an unprecedented limitation of freedoms, and would only cause immense harm to children and others who are of low risk for the virus. I was also willing to discuss the lab leak theory.
Oh, so she's trying to say that she was right with the it would result in a massive transfer of wealth, which I doubt was like her main point back then if we were to go back and watch. there was a way that it could have not resulted in a massive transfer of wealth. We could have levied a tax on rich people. We could have paid people to stay home. And then all the detrimental effects that she would point to, suicides going up, that sort of thing, that could have been alleviated with some, cash. Giving people cash would have helped them live during the pandemic and helped them be able to stay home and not have to go out so that they don't catch it, so they don't spread it. Let me tell you, Kim Iverson, you were not right about the lockdowns. If we had done an actual lockdown, if we had treated this like the serious threat that it was, we paid people to stay home, we had contained it, it would have been over a hell of a lot sooner than what it is. It's still causing economic hardships. It's still causing mass death. I don't know for sure. It's a tricky fucking virus, but I feel like if we had like nipped it in the bud, cut it all fucking down, 6 months, a year, and we would have been we could have eradicated it. If the rest of the world and if the U.S. had been taking the lead, developing the vaccine, getting the rest of the world vaccinated, yes. If we had contained it and the rest of the world took the lead with us, and we stopped the spread until we got a vaccination, we got the entire world vaccinated, we didn't profit off of the vaccination, we'd release the IP, everybody could produce their own vaccine across the world, all the populations got vaccinated, we'd already be over it. We would be over the pandemic right now instead of facing another wave and another set of soft lockdowns, which is going to result in another wave of business closures. Ma'am, do you know who was right all along about the pandemic? Me, not you. Not you, ma'am, no. But I'm sure she would point to that study that, like 2 economists did the other day, where they analyzed like 123 studies, but they narrowed it down to only 6 that they felt met their criteria. Rebecca Watson has a fantastic video on how bunk that story was about how lockdowns didn't work. And I've got the data to show you, the countries that did much tougher restrictions had far less death. So, ma'am, you weren't right about fucking anything. You just sit up here and gloat about how much your channel grew and how right you were about all the COVID bullshit is just nonsense.
End of March of 2020 and into April, I made a few videos about the theory. One of my videos hit over 1 million views. Then suddenly, my video was removed by YouTube. They didn't have the same strike policy they have now. Instead, my channel suddenly went from explosive growth to 0 growth, with my videos barely able to hit 10,000 views. So I went from 15 to 20,000 new subscribers per month to literally 0 subscribers. Not one. Very odd. This went on for months. In fact, my channel began losing subscribers. Yet the content wasn't any different than the many radars you've seen me do here on Rising. There was one odd week in July of 2020 when the algorithm hit a glitch and I suddenly gained about 50,000 subscribers in a single week. Then boom, back to nothing. That one event confirmed my suspicions that something was amiss. It wasn't that my views are unpopular with the people, they're just unpopular with the establishment. And I wasn't alone. Others reported having similar issues after reporting on the lab leak theory and criticizing lockdowns. They too saw their subscriber count slow to a crawl at best and video view counts take a dive. But I trekked on. I found other ways to survive, but it took a long time for my channel to start to grow again. And now everyone is allowed to freely talk about the lab leak theory, so I was punished for something everyone can now talk about without consequence. And that's one of the biggest issues with this type of content curation. One week, something is misinformation. The next week, it's common discourse. I was hit a year later in April of 2021 for reporting on Johnson & Johnson's vaccine being halted, which ended up being temporary.
Spoiler alert, she's mad at capitalism, but she's not gonna say that. Kim, here's the thing. is it is not like here she is framing this as if her views are unpopular with the establishment. You are not being constricted on YouTube because your views are unpopular with the establishment, ma'am. Let me explain to you how this works. YouTube owns the servers. They own the platforms. They own the software that promotes the algorithms. They own the interface. In order to make money, they sell advertising. And what they want on their platform is content that their advertisers approve of. It's not about your views being popular or unpopular or you having something dangerous to say that the establishment doesn't want you to hear. It is just that they want to limit things that are controversial so that they can put more advertising on it. That is all, Kim, that is all it is. I promise you. I have a YouTube channel too. Let me show you guys something. I'm gonna take a little. Go to my YouTube studio. I'm gonna show you a little behind the curtain stuff. So here we go. I'm gonna show you. Amazingly enough, the only one that's monetized. Oh, there's two that's monetized. One of the ones that's monetized is the last time I talked about Kim Iverson. So this is just a random time on my listing of video clips I made of the Troll Patrol, views, comments, likes, all that good shit. I can still see downvotes. This is what my page looks like most of the time. I would say having 2 videos that are monetized on like a page of 50 would be pretty common. The Freak Show is usually monetized. But like this video of Dave Chappelle does not have ads running on it. What YouTube is doing is it's trying to discourage content creators from talking about certain topics or saying certain things so they can put advertising on it using their... It's to maximize their profits. If they got a whole bunch of content that doesn't have advertising on it, they're not making any money on it. It's costing them to host the content, but they aren't making any money. So they're going to do shit like try to penalize me because they can't make as much money off of me because they can't put advertising on my shit because I won't stop cussing and I won't stop doing drugs on stream. That's what's going on here, Kim. It is not because your views are dangerous or because you have anything profound to say. I'm sorry to lay that on you, ma'am.
Temporary and alleged side effects that were being reported in the news about other brands. I violated their medical misinformation policy. By this point, YouTube had implemented their strike system. First you get a warning, then you get a strike and can't upload for a week. If you get another strike, you can't upload for 2 weeks. Because there were 2 videos in question, they gave me a warning and a strike and limited me from uploading for a week. But a couple of months later, after some of the side effects were confirmed by Pfizer and the FDA, I appealed the strike and had it reversed to a warning. I didn't get my week back, but I at least shielded my channel from getting hit harder in the future. Well, that future came last Friday when I woke up to a message from YouTube telling me a video was removed for violating their medical misinformation policy. This resulted in a strike, and I'm now suspended for posting for a week. Specifically, I violated their policy surrounding ivermectin. It is against YouTube's policy to post any content that claims ivermectin is either safe or effective in the treatment of COVID-19 or goes against the WHO. So I'm now in the doghouse, or horse stable, if you will. Now, I'm lucky that I've had the opportunity to come here to the Hill, where I've had a
What did that
Many
mean?
other independent creators have had to give up and find new lines of work. People who are genuinely good at this job, who are trying to share information with the world, are being cut out using a variety of tactics, from algorithmic suppression to outright bans. Information is being limited to only that which is sanctioned by the state. Private companies can do what they want.
No! Not, horse paste. Okay. Thank you. Okay, I get the joke now. The horse stable. How'd that one go over my head? But no, the state is not censoring you, ma'am, because of your views. It is corporate America wants a sanitized product that they can put advertising on. Blame capitalism. Put the blame where it rightfully belongs. You're so close, and yet you miss the point by so much.
But if they choose to only allow the state-sanctioned narrative to be heard, what has become of our culture? Are we a free America, open to hear all sides of arguments, no matter how absurd or how much we disagree? Or are we one of a one narrative nation governed by Big Brother? We need to decide, and we need to demand. But my fear is it's already been decided and demanded, and unfortunately not in the favor of free speech and free thought. And that is my biggest concern with our culture now.
You're on a commercial platform. There are limits to free speech and free thought when operating on a commercial platform. That includes, you have editors at Rising. I've had bosses the entire time I've been in media until I started streaming. Like, you answer to people. You answer to sponsors. You answer to who is paying the bills.
Of censorship. We've developed this new culture, and it's going on both sides. We do see from the left this censorship of, of what they've determined to be science or morality. If you go against that,
nationalize YouTube. Say whatever the fuck you want.
Coming from the right as well, where there was actually a school district in Virginia talking about burning books that they didn't agree with. They actually mentioned, well, we should burn these books, and it was about critical race theory books or books for.
Or I need a new butt.
Type issues or stories involving gay teenagers. So we've kind of reached this point in society where, and maybe we've always been in it, and I've just never really experienced it enough, but it does feel like we are at a point where everybody seems to be okay to some degree with censorship, and we're allowing these private companies to get away with it, and we're even encouraging it and saying, well, yeah, but you did XYZ thing and you shouldn't have, or you shouldn't be allowed to read this book. And I'm of the opinion that, I'm more of a free speech absolutist. I'm actually fairly extreme about it, but because I don't think there's really any speech that should be banned, including maybe even yelling fire in a theater and saying, well, I don't know. I mean, you should look around and see if the fire's there. I get it. People are going to disagree with me on that. But
even that, that anecdote is so people say that a lot. Well, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater, but it's actually what that statement comes from is a Supreme Court opinion that was not even. I think it was the dissent. So it's not. There's no legal standard that says that. It's something that people say, but it's not like, just as you say. If there is a fire in the movie theater, you are supposed to yell fire.
Right.
And in fact, that decision was being used to. It was the majority decision. Excuse me, but it was later invalidated, that precedent. But that was the precedent to prohibit leaflets against World War I from being distributed. So that metaphor was supposed to be like saying something against the war, sapping the war effort, was like falsely yelling fire in a crowded theater, which we would not accept.
Right.
Even the most pro-censorship person today would not say you are not allowed to distribute leaflets arguing against some war.
Although,
so
I don't know.
Maybe we're getting there. But
it seems like it. If you say anything against this war that's going on between Russia and Ukraine, suddenly you're being accused of being I'm accused all the time of carrying Putin's vodka around or whatever it might be. But
hey guys, hey. I've been staunchly against any kind of U.S. Intervention in this war, correct? No one has said that I'm working for Putin. That has not been a criticism that's been lobbed at me. What the fuck are you talking about, Kim? Maybe if I was bigger, maybe if my channel had grown by like 50K one month, maybe somebody would have called me like Putin's puppet or some shit. I feel a little left out. I want to get called a puppet. I don't want to be accused of working for the CIA. Please.
But, people aren't able to say what they want. And people are being accused. So I don't know. Maybe our culture has reached back to
the plebes have never been able to say what they want. Matter of fact, I would argue that the plebes have more space to say what they want now. That the people can speak up now. And that's why you're hearing all this shit about the woke mob and cancel culture and yada, yada, yada. Because the people can actually make their voice heard now. And people that have had unfettered access to platforms, whether it be TV, radio, newspaper and shit, they're hearing feedback now for like the first fucking time. And they don't like it. They don't like it at all. Soros is late on his check. Hey, Georgie boy. Daddy needs rent money. Pay up. Oh, fucking shit. Do I have that emote? Boom. I made the Soros dollar for some other thing, and I was like, oh, I can turn that into a T-shirt since like the dollar looks really fucking cool with Soros. Is like, if you've seen my Patreon pitch video, it has that Soros dollar pop up behind me, and then Soros's eyes like turn red and shit. Oh, fucking shit. Anyway.
Today's environment, how people like Eugene Debs would like get thrown in prison in World War I. Like you can finally like you can viscerally feel it. Like just after 9/11, you could viscerally feel it then too. Mm-hmm. That we're not at that place where they're going to be throwing people in prison, but you can understand with one or two more turns.
The mainstream media would be running articles about why is this man allowed to say things that is misinformation about the necessity of entering this war, this dynastic dispute between powers. Like that's what would happen.
Yeah.
And one quick point about YouTube, I think this.
I don't like the word mainstream media. Can we say corporate media? Paid corporate media is a more apt description than mainstream media.
Claim that you can't say that lockdowns don't work, divorced from everything else. I think that's actually fine. I think it's obviously clear. I think that it's correct. I don't think they should be the ones saying it, but I think it's obvious. Like China right now is locking down Shenzhen, city of 17.5 million.
Ryan,
like
lockdowns work. Masks work. Everything works.
But
Everything works except for the stuff that doesn't work. What are you doing?
My point is China, in a totalitarian way, locking down Shenzhen, this city of 17.5. It will reduce the spread. Right?
Yes.
Yes.
The question is, do we support a totalitarian government having that amount of power? That is the question. So that's what the public is supposed to work out, to balance the costs and the benefits of these things. The Shenzhen example is particularly right because it's happening right now, and it's literally a totalitarian government, but it will work to some degree.
Then they'll open up, then they'll get hit again.
Then they'll get hit again. Right.
They actually don't know we do this forever.
I don't know if that's if the lockdown one is actually in their community guidelines. We'd have to go back through it.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Look and say what can you say and what can you not say, and we're all kind of stuck to that.
It is in there. I remember seeing it the other day.
Yeah.
We're walking.
I did not know there was a guideline. I did not know we got a handbook on YouTube of the shit that we can and cannot say. Was not aware of this. Apparently hate speech is okay on YouTube.